Now, have you seen any strange things hovering in the air lately? If you have, you're not alone. There are lots of them out there. Unidentified flying objects, that is. Or not, as the case may be. Dr. David Clarke is the UFO expert at the National Archives, which has just released a report on the latest sightings. Well, the latest report, at any rate. He's written a book called the UFO Files, and there are lots and lots of files there.
Lots of them, yeah. I mean, we're only about a third of the way through the full tranche of files that's going to be eventually released, something like 180 files. There's 24 in this particular collection, and something like 6,000 pages in all.
So you've just waded through 6,000 pages to produce this latest lot?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And is it all rubbish?
Well, 90% of it...
At least 10%.
is pretty easily explained. If you look through, I mean, there's some lights in the sky that are quite obviously stars, bright planets, fireballs, aircraft seen from unusual conditions. But there are the odd, occasional little golden nugget hidden away in there that is much more difficult to explain.
Ah, the golden nuggets. Like what?
Well, my particular favourite is there's a letter in there from a senior MOD official called Ralph Noyes, who worked for the Air Ministry in the 1950s, and he writes into his successor in the late 90s, and he says that he remembered being taken to a secret film show at the MOD main building in 1970, where there was shown gun camera footage taken by fighter pilots in the 1950s of strange atmospheric phenomena, things following aircraft, mysterious sort of dark objects seen against a white background, that kind of thing. And the air defence staff just couldn't explain this, and they were looking for possible explanations that could be applied to this, and obviously they were genuinely concerned about what these things were at that time. But he was saying, have you still got these films? Where are they? And they did a search of the archives, and no trace of them. And this is exactly the sort of thing that you know, people who want to believe in conspiracy will latch onto to say that, you know, something has been hidden.
But on the other hand, you'd have to say, even if there was something then, that's what, more than 50 years ago. I mean, why haven't we been seeing that kind of thing regularly?
Well, good question, and you know, I always prefer cock-up over conspiracy, I'm afraid. Now, what I think happened is that these films were given to someone, perhaps the Meteorological Office is mentioned by Ralph Noyes in this letter. It's been put in a box somewhere, it's decayed, somebody's opened the box and thought, oh, we'll get rid of these films, and they've been disposed of.
The one thing you really must do this morning is give us your official verdict on, and I quote, the large triangular craft, double the size of a jumbo jet, hovering 1,000 feet above a particular house near Folkestone in Kent. Now, that house happened to be the house of the then leader of the Conservative Party, one Michael Howard.
Well, I think that's what was alleged, but what actually happened was that people living in that area saw an object in the sky. Now, it's impossible to say what that object was so far long ago, but I mean, to me it sounds like an aircraft, an ordinary aircraft.
So that really, because I mean the something of the night about the pictures the papers have used this morning, Mr. Howard, very cruelly underlit, you know, looking rather sinister and strange. Not his fault, poor chap. I mean, it's just the way the picture was taken.
Well, what you find in these files is that every time you get a new Prime Minister, he gets a bag full of letters from people who are convinced that the Ministry of Defence are hiding the truth about aliens.
Right.
And there's all these letters saying, now you've come to power, Mr. Blair, I'm sure you'll give us the facts about aliens. They're always disappointed. So I think if Mr. Cameron enters Downing Street later this year, he should expect.
Well, we've got yet more files to go through, haven't we? But you've gone through an awful lot, and you are, well, I don't know, how can I put it? Do you believe that there are strange things in our skies appearing from time to time that might be alien?
Well, I would agree with the first part, that there are strange things that appear in our sky from time to time, but I don't think there's any evidence in these files that suggests that they are visitors from other worlds. But that doesn't mean to say that they're not interesting.
Right, but not aliens. We can sleep slightly easier in our beds.
I think so, yes.
Even if it may be slightly less exciting. David Clarke, thank you very much.